It's one of those things where, it can at times have an advantage.
It's something that's present every day. I don't miss it. I have a routine in the mornings, I have a routine in the evenings. It's even just simple things like I always have a dark sock on my left foot and a light sock on my right foot.
I think it's misunderstood. Like, I think people think it's just a bit weird. Like, why do they do it? Why can't they not, like, why can't they control themselves? I think, and find it more comical than and sometimes sympathy, which really does me head in.
I mean, a good point of reference would be the film The Aviator with Leo DiCaprio, where you have one particular scene where he's asking for the blueprints of this particular operation, and he just there goes, "Give me the blueprints, give me the blueprints, give me the blueprints," and it's the frustration in himself that he has to say it, that he's not actually willingly saying it. It's like an automatic response where it's setting his brain in a loop.
Part of it is superstition, but most of mine was the fear of messing up. Because if I don't do it right, something bad would happen, or basically got cut.
I noticed it when I was about 6. It got worse when I was about 14. Just routines before I went to bed.
For about 5 to 6 years, ever since really I started at a restaurant, which with the whole food handling really emphasised the whole hand washing thing.
You could be doing appointments with counsellors for the next 40 odd years, and some people end up going that long without being cured. And it's just a case of, well, they have to work it out themselves.
Mine's pretty much a mind over matter, it's pretty much trying to force myself out of it instead of...
And I just have to keep myself busy. If I'm on my own too long, I notice that things are starting to slip.
At least deep down I won't mess up most things.
I'd say it has its roots in superstition. I mean, sort of growing up over the years, everyone always gets the, don't step on a crack, break mother's back sort of stuff. They avoid Friday the 13th at all costs.
I think the way the outside world perceives it is they don't really understand it. And I think to ever really ultimately understand it, you have to have it, because you just don't get that compelling feeling to have to do something. But it's really not something to be taken lightly in certain cases, because it can just destroy people.
Little details that other people sort of look at and go, that's just whatever. You can sort of notice the difference in them. But it's one of those things where it can get annoying. It can get very, very frustrating for others as well as yourself.
Some people have it twice as bad as me, or even worse than that. So I'm just thankful that I'm not at that point, but it has been there a few times, and I'm just praying I don't go back to it. Really am.
The outside world, on the other hand, is a different thing altogether, because there are those who sort of understand the condition, but most people honestly sort of look at it and just go, what a freaking nut.
I have the constant hand washing and hygiene and checking.
I'd say if I had to categorise it, it'd be fear and superstition, worrying about things and paranoid about things, and just things like that. Don't walk under ladders, stuff like that, kind of just on an extreme form.
Time, sort of like having to check, recheck things. I sort of fall into that category really, where it's...
I only started getting treatment about 1.5 years ago, and first I tried cognitive behavioural therapy, really hard to say. It's basically where you sit down with someone and they take you through everything that you do and try and help you reduce it bit by bit, almost like steps up a ladder, and then the last step is the worst one that you want to get rid of.
So the media sort of goes between those two extremes, if you like, either hideously terrible or hideously funny.
It's pretty much timekeeping which is really affecting me most, where I've got to have a routine for a whole hour at the end of the day.
It's because it's not talked about. I always kind of grew up thinking that it was a taboo, that it was one of just these weird things that people didn't want to know about, people didn't want to hear about, they wouldn't understand it.
So, for example, leaving a house, checking a door would have to be something that would have to be planned in advance. I'll be there checking for about 10 minutes just to make sure it's locked.
None of it's ever benefited me, but I can understand that some people who are just really, really organised or stay quite clean, as long as it's not to an extreme, I could see that they would, you know, see the benefits of it because it's just good hygiene and things like that. But because mine is just based on superstition and fear, there's absolutely no benefit to it whatsoever, I don't think.
It's when sort of people with a sort of mind that is more susceptible to these superstitions, they end up taking this in and starting believing it as gospel truth. Yeah, I mean, one of my forms of OCD is say the number 13, where if I'm leaving the house, I cannot have 13 cigarettes in a tin, to the point where I have to stand here and actually smoke one in order to get rid of it. So I have a nice round number, no 13, 12, brilliant. You know, but unfortunately, it's a case of where you do get those in society who do honestly go, oh, it's all superstition, it's all nonsense, it's people making it up. But you get that in every aspect of mental illness in society, where people refuse to actually believe these people have a problem.
And I went to the doctors and they gave me fluoxetine, which is an old form of Prozac, but it's not like pop a pill, you feel high. It builds up serotonin levels in your brain over time, and then so gradually I started to see kind of the OCD reduce, which is what I found. It got loads better. Also tried hypnotherapy, which I thought helped a lot as well. Had like 3 or 4 sessions and fell into a deep sleep and woke up feeling a hell of a lot better afterwards. But the fluoxetine, I mean, I've been on it for about 1.5 years and I'll probably be on it for the rest of my life.
You know, the day someone comes up with a little pill, OCD cure, then I'm first in the queue